artificial intelligence, or AI, is developing at a rapid rate. It can already be used to write emails and letters and texts. It can even recreate, which is really terrifying, people's voices.
But this technology is already being used by scam artists, and these AI scams are so sophisticated, they even managed to pose as our very own Martin Lewis. Now, we're going to show you that AI scam now, but remember, this is not really Martin Lewis speaking.
Elon Musk presented his new project, in which he has already invested more than $3 billion. Musk's new project opens up great investment opportunities for British citizens. No project has ever given such opportunities to residents of the country, given the interesting features of the app and having seen how it works.
I mean, if you didn't know...
I cannot believe that.
There's little glitchy bits because we know, but if you didn't know...
I would never have known.
You seriously, it's so good. Obviously, just to highlight again, that wasn't actually Martin speaking. It's an AI scam which recreated his voice, but also his image to try and target people's finances. It's terrifying. It really is.
I would not have spotted that, but how do you spot these AI scams? We're joined now by expert Jenny Radcliffe. Jenny.
It is her, isn't it? It is you, isn't it?
It is me.
Yeah, OK,
Yeah.
good.
Thank goodness, they are so sophisticated.
They're so good, and they're learning all the time.
Okay, so... what kind of threat does this pose for us? Because I would never have known, not in a million years.
Well, the thing is, as you can see, this is almost indistinguishable from the real thing. There are, like you say, a few little glitches, there are a few little things to look out for, but essentially anyone could be seen to create, to endorse, to create a message, to endorse a product, to say something that they don't know anything about and don't actually support. So that, from a security point of view, is incredibly dangerous, because these messages now can be so convincing, and you'll think it's coming from your bank, your boss, or even a member of your family.
So let's look at the kind of stages and levels of this. So let's start with that example from Martin there, or not. How would you know that wasn't him or a celebrity endorsing someone? What do you look for?
So that, you know, this is a really... It's hard for me to give you a positive message here. There are glitchy things. So there's things like the way that sometimes the speech is a little bit clipped. Sometimes there's less sort of ums and ahs and natural speech. There are a few things, but this stuff is very, very convincing. And the thing is, the mistakes it makes, it picks up and it learns from and doesn't make them again. So it's a learning all the time. And unfortunately, it is incredibly difficult to spot.
Not only is AI generating these videos, they're also cold calling people as well.
They are, because it can recreate voice. So there are lots of, let's just say, there's lots of positive uses of AI in business and elsewhere, OK? And one of the things it can do is it can generate scripts for sales and calls at scale. Right? So it can create a lot of calls and for a lot of people very quickly. The problem is that it can also be used by scammers and criminals, and those calls can call you. And just statistically, we're going to respond to those scripts. Some people will respond to them. So basically, it lets you do it at scale. It can give you this conversation. It sounds like a normal person, like a real human. And that can be used to create these scam calls, which we call phishing, voice phishing.
So, why is that more dangerous than a human phishing? Because that can also happen. Why use AI instead of using a human?
It's not necessarily more dangerous, it's the same thing, but as I say, it's at scale, so they can do it really, a lot of people at the same time, and it learns all the time from its mistakes. It also gives you some distance. So this is something generated. AI is computer-generated intelligence, right? So it's performing a task like any human, including a human with malicious intent, can do, but it can just reach so many more people so much more quickly and then learn when it gets it wrong.
So if we had an AI cold call, what should we be looking out for?
It's really difficult, as I say, just like with the video, it's hard to spot these things. The speech might be smoother than a human, you know, because we tend to pause, repeat ourselves, little ums and ahs, those types of things. It'll get straight to the point, generally. So the point of the whole call being to scam you, to get you to move money, that type of thing. But honestly, I really hesitate to say these are the things to look out for, because, as I say, it's improving all the time, it's getting better all the time. It's not really how a message is delivered that you need to look out for, it's what it is asking you to do that is the key to spotting these things.
So would you throw in a question to maybe throw it off to see if it is? Would you, like, did you see Harry Kane's back pass for United's goal last night? That kind of thing, you know, do you try and catch him out?
I mean, the thing is, the key to this is preparation. A lot of these calls particularly those that replicate members of your family, will give you an emergency situation, you know, mum, dad, I need money for this, or there's been an accident. So what we need to do in advance is make sure that we've got like a safe word with our family that says to check that it's really you, or questions that no one but your family might know. So, you know, it might be, where does the dog sleep, or something like that. And remember, a few is better than one, because we can scrape social media and find out some answers. So that's really the way to do it. And if in doubt at all, hang up and contact that person independently.
And if we suspect it's an AI call or an AI video, what should people do?
So it's exactly that, right? We need to externally verify. You know, we call our family member, we get in touch with them separately and say, is this you calling me? We call the bank or the brand that they're claiming to be and ask if it's them, and just do that away from the call that you've received. But it's very difficult to spot it.
You didn't get my trick question. It was Harry Maguire's back pass. You know, just saying. Not football audience, that's fine. How about using, family members? That's what's really, really scary. How does that work, and how would they use that against you?
So the thing is, anyone with any voice out there, any files with our voice or video files, the tool can scrape that, look at what's already online and replicate any script, right? So we could have me, you, anyone whose voice is out there replicating that script. And of course, that's so much more convincing to you than if it's just a computer voice or an unfamiliar voice. So that's really why it's so convincing and so dangerous. But that's also how we defeat it, is with these questions that we only share with our family and our loved ones. That's how we do it, because only we will know. So a human will still defeat it if we've got enough of those questions.
Jenny, what are companies doing to keep up with this? I mean, it's getting out of control. What are they doing?
So it's very difficult because this is so useful in a positive way for business and other things. There's so much investment going into this. And we're all familiar with it. We all use it for positive reasons. If you've got an assistant on your phone or something in the house or one of these, you know, so-called self-driving cars, all of that, we're using AI every day. And so what are companies that really, the only incentive to try and combat it is just to look at the fraud element. And honestly, banks, for example, they'll treat that like any other fraud that they see.
That's a really scary thing about it. It feels like only the other day we started hearing about AI. And already the scams are really, really advanced.
Yeah.
And they always seem to be ahead of the authorities, the scammers, don't they?
Scammers always are. And the thing is, it's like any tool. You know, anytime we get something that we use for positive reasons and for productivity reasons, criminals and scammers will take it, find a way to use it for malicious purposes. So it's hard for them to keep ahead of it.
We've just terrified all of the UK and Ireland with this conversation.
Every time I come on, terrify you.
Can you give them some calming words?
All I would say is it definitely is a case of staying ahead of it, staying in touch with friends and particularly family and saying, if there is a problem, I'm going to ask you these questions. Maybe we've got this safe word, and just keep close on that one. You know, it's prep in advance. Sort of expect it to happen. It's happened to 25% of people already. It's going to happen again. Plan in advance. In case we're scammed, it's not how you see that message. It's what they ask you to do. If they ask you to move money, if they ask you to act quickly, if there's an emergency or some sort of emotional story, all red flags to stop, take a breath, and check, verify externally. That's all we can do.
Jenny, thank you so much. It's scary stuff.
You say thank you.
Yeah, but it's scary
You never
stuff.
mean thank you.
We've got to keep people informed about this.
We do,
because I would never have known, never known. Thank you.